Last week, I showed you the recent poll about the New York City mayor race and where Zoran, Cuomo, and Sliwa stood. We have a new poll. And this poll is very shocking, at least if your name is Andrew Cuomo. Believe it or not, Andrew Cuomo has managed to decrease in the poll even more since the last one I showed you a couple of days ago. This new poll from the AARP Gotham poll, it shows in this three-way race, Andrew Cuomo is at 28.9%. The poll that I showed you a couple of days ago, he was at 31%. I was like, okay, so he's at 28.9%. Zoran Mandami is at 43.2%. So you see this? And Curtis Sliwa is at 19.4%. Curtis Sliwa will probably get roughly around 20%. I think that's what Larry Sharp was saying. In a two-way race, Zoran Mandami would be at 44.6% and Andrew Cuomo 40.7%. So what this shows you is that Sliwa is really putting a wrench in Andrew Cuomo's side. Andrew Cuomo wants Curtis Sliwa to drop out of the race because of this reason. When you look at these numbers, like I'm not even kidding, he was at 31%. Now he's at 28.9%, Andrew Cuomo. He's going down. He's not going up. The only way that Andrew Cuomo even has a chance is if Curtis Sliwa was to drop out of this race. Now, there's just one problem for Andrew Cuomo. Curtis Sliwa does not want to drop out of this race. And he's been very vocal about it. Andrew Cuomo was recently on Fox News. And so he is kind of, I guess, sticking it to Curtis Sliwa, telling him that he needs to get out of this race. Listen to this, guys.
To Republicans, I say, you're New Yorkers. We're all New Yorkers. And this is about the future of New York and saving New York City. And the only alternative is Zoran Mandami. Curtis Sliwa is not an alternative. He is not a viable candidate. You vote for Curtis, you may as well vote for Zoran Mandami directly. And if this city becomes a Zoran Mandami city, a socialist city, it's going to be the death of New York as we know it, whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
So it's really interesting how he says that it's going to destroy New York City, as if New York City, I mean, people in New York have been screaming for affordability for years, right? So when he says that it would ruin New York City, what he really means is that it would ruin it for the billionaire class. It would be a problem for the billionaires. It would be a problem for the establishment, a problem for big business. That's really what he's saying, not for the working class people. So now he's using those typical Democrat talking points of, well, if you vote for Curtis Sliwa, you're voting for Zoran Mandami. You know, like when people say if you voted third party, you're voting for Trump, like that type of thing. He also went on to MSNBC. He's really, he's really desperate. He's really trying here. He went on to MSNBC to also make the case as to him being a moderate. Listen to this.
What would you do for young voters?
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. He had a big turnout on 20 to 30-year-olds. Part of that is fresh face. Part of it is where socialists now, because remember, this is Democratic socialists. I'm now a moderate Democrat. By the way, how I became a moderate Democrat, I don't know. I was a crazy liberal all of my life, son of a crazy liberal. But now I'm a moderate. So it was, we're all socialists and anti-Israel. And anti-Israel first, Jonathan. That's what was the driving passion in that primary.
Yeah. because apparently it had nothing to do with, I don't know, affordability, cost of living. Someone coming to you saying, hey, I'm going to make it so that your rent doesn't continue to increase, has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with the possibility of a free bus. Has nothing to do with the cost of living. Just all about Israel, Israel, Israel. Yes, obviously, the pro-Palestinian protesters, there are many of them that do support Zoran and did support him, but not just because of that reason. But what we are seeing here, folks, is that this pro-Israel rhetoric during a genocide is not helpful for a candidate running with that message. And Andrew Cuomo, you would have thought he would have picked up on that, but he's corporate, he's corrupt, he don't give a damn. I think he really thought that his name and his name alone could help him win this race. I really do. I don't think that Andrew Cuomo thought that he would have to put in much work for this. I think he thought it was just going to be handed to him. And you'll also see now, President Trump is warning people, don't let Zoran win.
But he's going to explain there might be some dark, deep psychological reason where they want to vote the opposite way. I don't know what it is, but we have to win the midterms. Otherwise, all of the things that we've done, so many of them are going to be taken away by the radical left lunatics. I mean, we're going to end up with a communist mayor in New York. Can you believe it? A communist. Remember, I would always say, we will not have a socialist elected in our country. Remember, I'd say that all the time. And I was right. We skipped socialists. We got a communist elected. So I didn't tell a lie. I didn't tell a lie. I was right. We'll have a communist, not a socialist. But we've already seen the impacts of the dangerous game that they're playing. Democrats are causing delays in our air traffic control.
So now Zoran Mondani has gone from being a democratic socialist, which is not the same thing as a socialist, to a communist. The exaggeration is hilarious to me. But then also you have Democrats doing the same thing. You also have Democrats coming in, calling him, oh, he's a communist and all this type of thing, which is not the case. Now, a lot of this comes down to this guy right here, Curtis Sliwa. They are begging Curtis Sliwa to drop out of the race. The New York Post has been going crazy with these headlines. Just walk away, Beret. Oh my God. He wore a raspberry beret. Just walk away, Beret. They are begging him to get out of this race. You'll see another one here. Even Fox News says Republican NYC mayor candidate Curtis Sliwa announces he is not dropping out under any circumstance. This is their only way. This is their only way to get Cuomo in. And you'll see even Republicans are begging for Andrew Cuomo to be the winner, even though he's a Democrat, because it's like he still protects the status quo. You have the leaders of the Democratic Party, Hakeem Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, and Chuck Schumer. They won't endorse him because they want to protect the status quo. So Curtis Sliwa says he is not dropping out of this race. Guys, it's 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. Now, anything can happen, but I do want to show you what Curtis Sliwa said on the Breakfast Club, how much he was offered to drop out of this race.
Let me tell you straight up, the billionaires are not going to determine who the next mayor of New York City is. Let the people decide. I trust people. I don't trust billionaires. I don't trust the professional political class. They are not going to choose the mayor. Let the people decide. If they choose Zoran Mondani, I'm not running away. Like Andrew Cuomo said, oh, if he becomes mayor, I'm going to run to Florida. I stay. I improve. I don't move. I was born in New York. They tried to kill me in New York. The Gattis and Gambino shot me 5 times with hollow point bullets in June of 1992.
This guy is like the white 50 Cent. Because, like, seriously, I don't know if everybody knew this, but apparently he was shot 5 times and he survived. Oh, my gosh.
And even when I survived, I never had armed security after that. Today, I walk into your studios here. I have armed security with me, former NYPD cops. Why? Because I wouldn't take the payout from the billionaires to drop out.
How much did they offer you? I saw you on the news a few weeks ago say that. You was like, if one more billionaire calls me and offers me money to drop out, I'm going to record the call and put it out.
They'll be talking to Alvin Bragg, the DA. But
how much did they offer
$10 million with Jeeves, stretch limo, chauffeur, no show job. Eric got the same offer.
What you?
Curtis Sliwa was offered $10 million to drop out of this race. And according to him, Eric Adams got the same offer. $10 million. And for most people, money talks. So it sounds like Curtis turned that down. Now, here's the thing. You still got 2 weeks to go. Now, he says he's not going to drop out. So a lot of people, I think, are just on pins and needles waiting to see, okay, what if he changes his mind? Eric Adams said he wasn't going to drop out either. $10 million. This is what is really driving politics in this country. $10 million spent to get a candidate to drop out of the race instead of, I don't know, $10 million to build more housing, more homes, feed people, things like that. I smell trouble because they are going to such great lengths to get this guy out of the race. I smell trouble that people are willing to pay $10 million. We ain't talking about 10,000, $10 million. And all the pressure that is coming that way from the press as well, telling him to drop out. I smell trouble. It is very scary. Because it makes me wonder, if he doesn't drop out, are they going to try to harm Curtis Sliwa? Think you know who I mean by they? The establishment, the billionaires will do whatever they want to get their way. Now, here's something very interesting as well. This came from Nathan Robinson. He said Curtis Sliwa is fun, but as a reminder, to pretend his subway vigilantes were helping people, he regularly staged fake crimes for them to thwart so that he could be a hero, and told one of his men to hold off reporting a member who had been accused of sexually assaulting a child. He has receipts here. Sliwa admits faking crimes for publicity. That was in 1992. 6 of his group's early crime fighting exploits were actually faked. There's a whole bunch here, a number of the stunts that they mentioned. We're not going to read all of that, but here's another one. Another former close associate of Mr. Sliwa, William Diaz, said he was told to delay handing over a member wanted for questioning in the sexual assault of a child. So Curtis Sliwa isn't exactly who people think he is either. So let's just put that all out there. But this is very, 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 very scary, you guys. The fact that, 2 weeks away, right now, according to the betting odds, Zoran Mondani has a 93% chance of winning. 93% chance of winning mayor of New York City. Andrew Cuomo has 7%. So let me tell you something, guys. Pay attention to what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks, because I smell trouble. I would not be surprised if they try to do something. If the billionaires try to do something, the establishment tries to do something. I don't know. You really cannot put anything past these people. You really can't. And I thought that they probably figured that if we give Curtis like 10 million, we can get him out of there. And then if the polling is closer, then they can do some, trickery behind the scenes and be like, oh, but it was so close. And that's why Andrew Cuomo won. But the polls are not close at all between Andrew Cuomo and Zoran Mondani. So if you did something tricky behind the scenes this time around, it would be obvious as hell. They need the polls to be closer to try to do something. So I'm just sitting back wondering, what are they going to do? And I don't know, man. 2 weeks away. But the establishment is very concerned. The billionaires are very concerned. I agree. I told you guys before, I think Zoran might govern more like a moderate. I see him. He's already bent on some of his positions. But I think that the fact that they are trying this hard to get him out of there shows you that they don't even want someone. He's part of DSA. He's still a Democrat. They don't even want him in. So no, it's not vote blue no matter who. It's vote blue for the establishment who. That's who it is. Anybody running on those like progressive or populist policies that's calling out, especially nowadays, calling out Israel, they don't want that person in. So we'll have to sit back and see what happens. 2 weeks. They're desperate. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.